Hello, good evening and welcome to Iron Port here on Metropolitan Television. It's day number 1 in the month of December 2024. My name is Kennedy Mona. Remember, Iron Port is proudly brought to you by the Ghana Revenue Authority, Guel PLC, Serene Insurance, Ghana Link Network Services, Meridian Port Services, MPS, and indeed Phoenix Insurance. The show is proudly powered by the Ghana Ports and Harbours Authority-GPHA. And our media partner is the Business and Financial Times, the BNFT. If you want to have a grasp of all that transpired on the show, make a date and grab the Thursday edition of the BNFT, and you'll be able to read all that happened here tonight on the show. We, as usual, are going to be streaming live on our social media pages. On Facebook, we are live at Ghana Ports and Harbours Authority. Ghana Ports and Harbours Authority. Still on Facebook, we are streaming live at Port of Tema. And on YouTube, we are live at Iron Port. Now, we are going to be getting interactive with you as usual, and so all you have to do is sit back, relax, and grab your phones and send us your messages and comments via our dedicated WhatsApp line, which is 0538 037373. 0538 037373. Now, when the time is right and I get the signal from the production team, we shall activate the phone lines for you to call in and speak to our special guest tonight. My name is Kennedy Mona once again. We are going for a quick break. When we return, we'll continue the show. Please stay with us.
Good energy brings you quality choices with Goil Super XP. Available in many Goil stations nationwide. It is fortified with special additives that help your engine perform better and use less fuel. Branch into a Goil station today and energize your ride with Goil Super XP, compatible with most vehicles. Goil Super XP will fill ya, huh? Will be feel. Goil, good energy. Yeah, yeah.
Electricity, then pay your taxes. Our taxes, our future.
Because you see, without our taxes, we wouldn't have good roads, good schools, better hospitals, street lights, and other very important social amenities. When we pay our taxes, we give our children free and quality education. Talga, my money too small. Why should I pay my tax? Look, small. Salifo, it doesn't matter how small or big your business or income is. You still have to pay your taxes. The little taxes from each and every one of us, when put together, could give your community clean water or that deprived school with tables and chairs. Please pay your taxes. It is your responsibility. It is your civic duty. It is the law.
MPS Terminal 3 is Africa's new state-of-the-art container terminal at Tema Port. For manufacturers, agro-processors and traders, the new port means business can be done faster. This infrastructure boost will improve Ghana's port handling capacity, connect more trading routes, and oil the engine of growth for the economy, creating greater opportunities across all sectors as Africa's markets merge and become the largest trading bloc globally. MPS, we connect, you thrive.
Business and life can be like the sea sometimes. Sometimes serene, sometimes calm, sometimes turbulent, and at times it brings the unexpected. However it is like, trust Phoenix Insurance for your home, car, business, and marine insurance needs. Call 0302 246 319 or 0243 690 492.
At Phoenix, you experience a delightful service delivered with wisdom.
All right, so welcome back. We are now going to take a look at happenings in the port and shipping industry during the week. Indeed, during the week, the Ghana Shippers Authority had cause to celebrate its 50th anniversary. We'll bring you what we know from that event, plus the fact that the Ghana Ports and Harbours Authority also celebrated one of its own, the very vintage Madam Esther Gyebi-Donkor. She held her 60th birthday celebrations. That was on Tuesday, on the 26th of November. That was plus a retirement party. We'll bring you details of that just in a jiffy. Plus the fact that WISTA Ghana also has geared up for a milestone year, and it has held its annual general meeting. These and more for your enjoyment. Please enjoy.
The Ghana Shippers Authority marked its 50th anniversary last Friday with a grand celebration in Accra. The event, themed Celebrating 50 Years of Resilience, Honoring Our Legacy and Inspiring Innovative Excellence, reflected on the authority's 5 decades of contributions to Ghana's shipping and logistics industry. The milestone celebration comes right after the newly enacted Ghana Shippers Authority Act 2024, Act 1122, was recently signed into law by President Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo, strengthening of the GSA's regulatory powers. This new mandate enhances the authority's oversight across sea, air, and land transport, promoting fairness and competitiveness within the industry. Speaking at the event, Minister for Transport Kweku Fori-Siama urged the Shippers Authority to embrace the opportunity to build on this enviable legacy to transform the authority into a world-class organization that not only meets the needs of today, but anticipates the challenges of tomorrow.
I urge you to continue to innovate, embrace new technologies and practices that enhance efficiency and sustainability. Strengthen your collaboration with international partners and stakeholders, ensuring that Ghana remains competitive in the global shipping industry. Most importantly, continue to remain committed to your core mission of regulating the activities of shippers and shipping service providers to ensure competitiveness of all of us.
In an ever-evolving industry such as ours, our governance framework has allowed us to embrace innovation while ensuring compliance with regulatory standards. We fostered a culture of continuous improvement where innovation is encouraged and compliance is non-negotiable. The balance which we have guarded jealously has enabled us to remain resilient, adapting to changes whilst upholding the highest standards of governance.
The Chief Executive Officer of the Ghana Shippers Authority, Kwesi Bafo Otre-Sapong, outlined the authority's plans for modernization, including the establishment of an e-platform to tackle non-tariff barriers and the categorization of shippers into tailored service tiers.
As we celebrate this Golden Jubilee, we do so with the assurance that we are better prepared than ever to fulfill our mandate and to charge an even brighter future for GSA, for shippers, for our entire industry, and for our nation as a whole.
He also provided updates on the Buankra Integrated Logistics Terminal project, which he said, when completed, will be a game changer in Ghana's logistics sector.
The Buankra Integrated Terminal stands as a beacon of multimodal transport and innovation, which will seamlessly connect Ghana's land, sea, and air transport systems. With construction of phase 1 now about 35% complete, this inland port is a game changer.
Joining in solidarity with the Ghana Shippers Authority was the president of the Association of Ghana Industries, Dr. Humphrey Ayamdak, who pledged his outfit's continued close collaboration with the Shippers Authority to strengthen Ghana's industrial and trade ecosystem.
We recommend sustained investment in port automation and digitization, expansion of port facilities, and the use of advanced technologies like blockchain to streamline customers' process. Collaboration with private sector operators to enhance logistics and cargo handling capacity will also alleviate these issues, and therefore we call on more public-private partnerships in such an engagement.
The event culminated in a captivating performance by renowned Ghanaian musician Samini, who energized the audience and brought the celebration to a joyous close. The Ghana chapter of the Women's International Shipping and Trading Association, WISTA Ghana, is set to intensify efforts in advancing women in the shipping, logistics, and trading sectors. This comes as the organization prepares to mark its 15th anniversary this year. Speaking at the 2024 annual general meeting held semi-virtually in Tema last Friday, WISTA Ghana President Gertrude outlined ambitious plans for the year ahead.
In the coming year, WISTA Ghana will be 15 years old, and we are looking to have a big project with organizations that would want to partner with us to run programs to educate people in shipping, in trade, and in logistics. And as part of the 2025 activities, we'll have the 8th WISTA conference, which will be held in Nigeria. Ghana hosted the 6th WISTA conference. The 7th took place in South Africa. So we are hoping to go to Nigeria for the 8th WISTA conference. The WISTA 2025 AGM will also be held in Barcelona, Spain.
This year's AGM served as a platform for decisive discussions on upcoming projects and initiatives. Key outcomes included strategies to improve membership welfare and further expand WISTA Ghana's impact. Members also reaffirmed their dedication to promoting inclusivity and professional development for women across the maritime and trade sectors. Gertrude Ohinie-Sienim, who is also the Chief Executive Officer of Whitestone Shipbrokers and the West Africa School of Shipping, encouraged women in the industry to join WISTA Ghana, highlighting the association's role in building skills and empowering women to excel in their respective fields.
We are appealing to every lady in shipping, trade, maritime, whether you work in the port, whether you work in our maritime agencies, whether you work in the shipping, trade, logistics department, that join WISTA. We are affiliated to the IMO, we have a seat at the IMO, we are UNTAD affiliated, and we have so many things, educational programs, social programs, welfare programs, and things that build up the entire woman to be a woman of substance.
A notable highlight of the AGM was WISTA Ghana's announcement of its campaign to bring the prestigious WISTA International Conference to Ghana in 2026. If successful, this initiative will position Ghana as a hub for global discussions on gender equity and maritime development. The Ghana Ports and Harbours Authority earlier in the week honored Esther Gyebi-Donkor, the outgoing general manager in charge of marketing and corporate affairs, with a grand celebration marking her 60th birthday and retirement. The event, held in Tema, brought together colleagues, subordinates, industry stakeholders, and well-wishers to commemorate her remarkable contributions to Ghana's port and maritime industry. The celebration was a colorful and joyous affair, with heartfelt tributes pouring in from staff members who worked closely with Esther Gyebi-Donkor throughout her illustrious career. They recounted her tireless dedication, innovative leadership, and nurturing personality, which fostered a positive working environment and inspired many.
To stay till 60 years is by grace.
Yes.
To stay and harbor all those things and deal with them, manage them till 60 years is by grace of God. So if you see anybody waiting patiently unto God to retire at age 60 in a public service, you should give thanks to God. First time we give thanks to God for your life.
Amen.
We work together when we come upon various committees, and I can attest to the fact that when you work in an organization 1 year, 2 years, and you come back and the junior ones see you and they take their face, means that you have failed. But the energy we are seeing here, the enthusiasm, Madam Isa have succeeded. Let's clap for her.
Industry stakeholders from across Ghana and from transit destinations in the West African sub-region also joined in the festivities, sharing stories of her relentless pursuit of excellence and support to the trade through Ghana's ports.
They said, okay, let's go to the corridor and see what we can win for Ghana. This is how she was thinking years back from Mother Ghana. And some people, when you work with them, you feel joy and fulfilled.
From my 10 years in operations, and I saw the work of Madame Gyebi-Donkor from Tema Manager to the General Manager, Marketing and Corporate Affairs, and the ways to relate to everybody. Nana has just testified that here. It tells us that this woman has really gone through the mill, and that's why she delivered creditably, as all of us are witnessing today.
And so, Mama, I want to thank you so much for your pep talks and for the way you open your office to me anytime I come here to assist. So on this day, I want to thank you and wish you all the best after retirement. The next kind is representative, and I can say to you, to you the book, and the next thing you and I'm not sure that room and if you do me money, I can't see the general bank. All Pasha Kumar and Ghana Hapra, you're there 26, 27. Me, I don't have Esther. Now, put there.
De leur advision en direction du PT. Or they use other ports because of her intervention. Most of the importers had to come back and use the Ghana ports.
The highlight of the evening was an emotional speech by Esther Gyebi-Donkor, who expressed her gratitude to the GPHA family and her industry colleagues for their support over the years.
Very happy. At the time that I was going to do the coaching session for the women in the industry, and my Iron Port team decided to go to our stakeholders and take messages from them. I recall that when Solomon played those clips for me for the first time, I wept. In fact, it wasn't that I was sad, it was all tears of joy, because I have lived to witness those testimonies, those good things that they have said about me. Sometimes you only hear those things when you are dead.
The event was filled with music, dancing, and a sense of camaraderie as attendees celebrated not just the achievements of Esther Gyebi-Donkor, but also the shared memories and partnerships she helped to build. As she transitions into retirement, her legacy as a transformative leader in the maritime sector remains firmly etched in the hearts of all who gathered to honor her. In addition to the glowing tribute, Mama One, as affectionately called by all, was also at the receiving end of gifts from the Marketing and Corporate Affairs Department and admirers from industry.
That was a beautiful party there for Madam Esther Gyebi-Donkor, who happens to be our special guest tonight. We shall be introducing her pretty shortly. But for now, we're going for the word or phrase of the day. Remember, the word or phrase of the day has been fashioned to bring you up to speed with the terminologies and jargons we use in the shipping industry. Today's word is Special Purpose Ship, or SPS. Special Purpose Ship.
Special Purpose Ship, or SPS, means a mechanically self-propelled ship, which by reason of its function carries on board more than 12 special personnel.
Now we are on to our safety tip for this week, and our safety tip for this week happens to be regular checkups.
Regular checkups. These are important even when you feel healthy. They help catch problems early when they are usually easiest to treat. It's always a good idea to review your medications with your healthcare provider and pharmacist.
All right, so welcome back. You saw the last news item, which happens to be the one for Mrs. Esther Gyebi-Donkor, the outgoing General Manager, Marketing and Corporate Affairs at Ghana Ports and Harbours Authority. And then on the 26th of November 2024, she clocked 60 years. And that's having served in various capacities at the Ghana Ports and Harbours Authority for 31 solid years. She rose through the ranks to become the General Manager, Marketing and Corporate Affairs. At some stages, she served as the first female terminal manager at Ghana Ports and Harbours Authority, running 3 terminals concurrently, the biggest being the Golden Jubilee Terminal. Now, you would have heard in 2017 when His Excellency the Vice President announced that the ports in Ghana must go paperless, she happened to be the one that led the GPHA team for the implementation of the paperless. She was also a member of the National Task Force that was, that had been commissioned to see to the implementation of the paperless port, and she did that with finesse, with excellence, and that kind of like gave it industry stakeholders some kind of the zeal to nickname her Madam Paperless. And so if you went to the port around those times, everywhere she passed, she was called Madam Paperless, Madam Paperless. That had to do with the role she played to ensure that we implemented the paperless port system, which was announced by His Excellency the Vice President. She slept several times in the office. She lost sleep because of that. And through her instrumentality and with the support of the team that she worked with, they were able to implement it smoothly, beating the timelines that was given to them by the Vice President to implement this particular policy. And so we are deeply grateful to have her tonight in our studios to share with us her story so far. As she joined the maritime industry 31 years ago, rising through the ranks, the challenges, the successes, and all that. The mentorships that she has given to, ladies in particular who are in the industry, and to those of us who have worked, closely with her, under her feet, learning every day and all that. She is a professional woman of excellence, and we think that we cannot, let her go like that without bringing her to the studio. One, she has been the executive producer of Iron Port since 2017 when she took over as GM Marketing and Corporate Affairs. And when she took over, Iron Port was only recorded for 30 minutes and played. It wasn't live. She introduced the live session, interactive session, where we have the phone calls and the text messages and all that. She only didn't stop at that. She also went further to increase the time from 30 minutes to 1 hour, 30 minutes. And so tonight, we've always mentioned Mrs. Esther Gyebi-Donkor. You've heard about her. She's been here on the show on several occasions. But tonight's edition is a very special one, and we are dedicating it solely to her to celebrate her for the various roles she has played in getting us here as Iron Port and as Ghana Ports and Harbours Authority, particularly the Marketing and Corporate Affairs team and the authority in general. And so it gives me pleasure to introduce to you Mama One, as we call her in the office at the Ghana Ports and Harbours Authority. Good evening, Mom, and welcome.
Good evening, and good evening to your viewers.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
We're glad to have you, Mom.
Madam
Esther Gyebi-Donkor is a member of the Chartered Institute of Marketing, Ghana, CIMG, and she's also a member of the Institute of Public Relations, Ghana, IPR, Ghana. We are going to go and take a look at the documentary we made for her, and then when we come back, we will continue with the interview in the studio. Please stay with us.
Say she's crazy, she got diamonds on.
Mrs. Esther Gyebi-Donkor is the General Manager for Marketing and Corporate Affairs of the Ghana Ports and Harbours Authority. Mrs. Gyebi-Donkor marked 30 years of dedicated and committed service to the authority on 4th of January 2024. She is an assertive, innovative, and hardworking professional with good interpersonal skills, leadership skills, public speaking skills, and a team player. She has over the years carried her task to the best of her ability and comes out as one whose passion, drive, and resolve for results keeps her on top of her game as a member of the top management of the Ghana Ports and Harbours Authority. She became the first female terminal manager in the history of the Port of Ghana. It was during this period that Port of Tema was adjudged the best managed port in West and Central Africa at the maiden edition of the African Ports Award ceremony. Among the criteria used for the selection were ship turnaround time, or how cargoes were discharged from ships or loaded at ports, how fast and efficient containers were handled at the port, and measures taken to ensure safety of ships, personnel, and cargo. This feat, chalked by the authority, was because of the hard work by Mrs. Gyebi-Donkor and her team. Her efficiency to plan, receive, store, and deliver cargo quickly, safely, and cost-effectively to cargo owners, which was her key role as terminal manager, earned her an advanced role at that time to integrate and coordinate the various activities of the three terminals, namely Golden Jubilee Terminal, GPHA Reefer Terminal, and GPHA Transit Terminal from January 2015 to May 2017. Under her leadership, the Golden Jubilee Terminal exceeded container delivery target of 74,216 TEUs by 30%, and she also exceeded reefer container delivery target of 11,130 TEUs by 124%. The transit terminal saw about 50% growth. Success achieved at the terminals inspired her promotion to the general manager in charge of marketing and corporate affairs in June 2017. Her outfit is responsible for crafting, planning, developing, implementing, and measuring the success of all the organization's marketing, communication, and public relations activities, and in charge of promoting transit trade, among others. Since becoming the general manager in charge of marketing and corporate affairs, transit trade exceeded the 1 million TEU target for the first time in 2017, after the drastic reduction in 2009. Mrs. Gyebi-Donkor provided strong leadership in building and overseeing key strategic relationships for business success and growth. Mrs. Gyebi-Donkor is credited with significantly contributing to the smooth implementation of the paperless port system in the Port of Ghana, having been appointed as a member of the National Committee for the Paperless Port Project and serving concurrently as the leader of the Ghana Ports and Harbours Authority's team. The team was tasked with the implementation of the system when the Vice President of the Republic of Ghana, Dr. Mahamudu Bawumia, challenged and directed the port to migrate from manual processes. She is reputed to have earned the tag Madam Paperless from the port community, having exhibited and demonstrated a high sense of commitment and dedication and shown class in her leadership qualities, resulting in the successful implementation of the paperless port system within 2 months, to the admiration of all.
She's very passionate, she's meticulous, and she has a very in-depth understanding of the port's processes. And I think that's the reason why she was very instrumental during the paperless transition. And she did serve the authority very well on the committee, and we were able to transition in that short period of time that we were given.
When she was nominated as the coordinator and implementer of the single window project, she brought up all her sterling qualities. She worked day and night, and Esther didn't disappoint anybody.
Based on the success of the paperless implementation, the Port Authority received 2 awards.
Ghana Port and Harbour Authority. Ghana Port and Harbour Authority.
It was adjudged the best port in management information system among the member ports of Port Management Association of West and Central Africa in 2018 and the Government Agency of the Year 2018 at the 2018 Ghana Shippers Awards. Mrs. Esther Gyebi-Donkor is also in charge of the GPHA Media Unit, Iron Ports, which is the authoritative television current affairs program championing the drive to bring clarity to the public on the happenings of the port and maritime industry, which is monumental to Ghana's economy. The Iron Port program airs on two major national television networks, Ghana Television, DSTV Channel 278, and Metropolitan Television, DSTV Channel 277. The program is also available on YouTube and Facebook, while most of its contents are published by multiple partner media outlets. Iron Port was adjudged the Maritime Media Program of the Year at the maiden edition of the Ghana Shippers Awards, as well as Best Maritime Program at the maiden edition of the Ghana Maritime Awards. The authority's website, www.ghanaports.gov.gh, is also part of her responsibility and is frequently updated with annual performance statistics of the respective ports and information related to its business units. Port users such as suppliers and vessel agents can also access their bookings and registration portals via the website. Mrs. Esther Gyebi-Donkor's leadership is not limited to GPHA. She has taken leadership roles in the different areas of the maritime and port industry. She has been a board member of the Ghana Maritime Authority from 2015 to 2019 April. She is currently a board member of the Ghana Shippers Authority. She is a member of the National Trade Facilitation Committee and the Trading Across Borders Working Group. Esther is also a member of the National Gender Trade Subcommittee. She is also a vice chairman of the executive board of Borderless Alliance. She has been a president of the Network for Professional Women in the Maritime and Port sectors of West and Central Africa from 2013 to 2017, after being the vice president of the same network from 2010 to 2012. She is currently an advisor to the network. During her tenure, the network received an award from the President of the Government of the Sinares Islands, His Excellency Paulino Rivero Boate, in 2014 in Las Palmas. Esther formed the Ghana Local Network in July 2023 and already has over 100 members. She is an advisor to the network. Again, Mrs. Gyebi-Donkor was one of the founding members of WISTA Ghana, where she held the position of the Public Relations Officer from June 2009 to February 2017. She played major roles in organizing WISTA conferences, as well as being a panelist and other activities during her tenure of office. She has also attended many of the WISTA international conferences. She was the president of the Port Ladies Association, Ghana Ports and Harbours Authority, for 7 years and currently a trustee. It was during her leadership that most ladies were encouraged to further their education so that they can rise to the main challenging roles instead of all of them being secretaries. And huge successes were chalked in this area. Currently, there are more women in management positions in the Port Authority. Her good deeds, hard work, professional acumen, and dedication to duty and the growth and development of the port and maritime industry are not only known in GPHA and Ghana, but in Africa and across the world.
All through West Africa, and I may say Africa, Esther's name is a name that all port authorities know.
This is evidenced in the numerous accolades and awards she has won and received in recognition of her huge contribution to the industry in Ghana, Africa, and the world at large. Mrs. Esther Gyebi-Donkor was adjudged and honored for excellence in Marine and Aviation Award under the Feminine Ghana Achievers Awards in 2019. She is a proud recipient of the African Spanish Maritime Port Women's Conference Award in October 2023 in Las Palmas for her pioneering role in bringing transformational change and giving women a voice in the maritime sector. In October 2023, she again received recognition from Ghana's foremost maritime training institution, the Regional Maritime University, for her contribution to the maritime industry. A citation presented to her read, quote, "As the General Manager for Marketing and Corporate Affairs of the Ghana Ports and Harbours Authority, your devoted service has been outstanding. You are a highly dependable and experienced administrator who demonstrates excellence in the efficiency and quality of work. You readily take up assignments without hesitation. Your exemplary leadership, humility, and great administrative prowess have been attested to by your peers. The university values your dedication, passion, and commitment to work and contributions towards the development and progress of the maritime industry," unquote. She also emerged as the best woman in strategic project management in the maritime and port sectors of West and Central Africa at the 7th edition of the African Ports Awards held in Lagos, Nigeria on Thursday, November 9th, 2023. Mrs. Gyebi-Donkor also won the Outstanding Corporate Support Award at the Maiden Corporate Heads Award by Ghana Institute of Freight Forwarders. It is also worthy of mention that Mrs. Esther Gyebi-Donkor's professional achievement and excellence, as well as her dynamic personality, has been acknowledged nationally, as she has become the favorite of most television news channels who feature her dynamic works as exemplary within the ports and maritime industry.
Throughout history, it has always been a man's world, but now the male-dominated maritime industry is seeing vociferous women breaking stereotypes and foraying into the trade, creating an identity for themselves.
Meet Esther Gyebi-Donkor, the first woman terminal manager in Ghana with over 25 years' experience in the maritime trade. Esther was the head for 3 terminals, Transit, Refa and the Golden Jubilee Terminal at the Tema port, which was a man's job.
It was a tough area.
This week is dedicated to workers all across the entire world, including this country, Ghana. And Iron Port is going to put the spotlight on some workers who are making international or gaining international and national recognition within the port. We'll be talking about Madame Esther Gyebi-Donkor, one of the women within the port who has risen to the top of the ladder within the port and maritime industry.
The port or maritime industry is mainly gender biased, with males dominating the sector. Yet a few women are braving the odds and successfully blazing the trail in the industry.
Up to date, the percentage of women in the industry globally is so low.
Mrs. Esther Gyebi-Donkor is also a regular contributor to most national daily press, including the state-owned and largest newspaper in Ghana, the Daily Graphic, where she shares a value of experience insight into maritime and shipping subjects of national interest through opinion editorials.
I also had the privilege at that time and over the years of reading her consistent publications and newsletters, which provided the ports and the community with current updates and information on what was going on in our ports and in the industry.
Esther Gyebi-Donkor has participated in a wide range of seminars and conferences where she made presentations during some. Esther Gyebi-Donkor is a chartered member of the Chartered Institute of Logistics and Transport, Ghana, a chartered member of the Chartered Institute of Marketing, Ghana. She is also an accredited member of the Institute of Public Relations, Ghana. Esther Gyebi-Donkor is an alumnus of the World Maritime University, Malmö, Sweden, where she attained MSc in Maritime Affairs, Port Management. She has a Bachelor of Arts in Economics as well as Diploma in Education from the University of Cape Coast. An all-embracing and straightforward professional, whose expertise spans marketing, corporate affairs, public relations, port operations, and management, amongst others. Mrs. Gyebi-Donkor has acquitted and discharged her duties to the admiration of all, including staff and stakeholders of the authority.
She loves the job, I should say, because at the operations it was a tedious position to occupy, but she applied herself to it and she was willing to listen. She built the relationship such that no matter the situation that we were facing, the customers would not agitate. Yes, because of how she would speak to you, and because you're also seeing that she's making an effort to improve your situation. So it's something that we have all learned whilst we are working with her. In essence, she's a very consummate maritime professional.
Madam Esther has been a mentor and a mother figure in addition to being a stellar boss. She's strategic, professional, extremely capable, and very, very learned. And in short, she's a guru and maestro in everything that she does and handles.
She is someone who is well versed in the industry. When we have issues at meetings, whatever issues that you raise, she is able to articulate herself, explain to you, for you to understand that she knows what she's talking about.
She's very instrumental when it comes to getting the key stakeholders to sit on the round table to discuss issues about the port. She has her way of cornering you to listen to her and understand her point of argument.
She really understood her work. She had a full grasp of the technicalities of port operations to the extent that, for me, I learned a lot from her engagement.
She has a way of telling you no. She won't say no to you, but she will package it in a way that you yourself will say it's no. And when that one is sent to you, it goes straight, in fact, it hits your heart and then you accept it coolly into your system. And then you feel that you have actually spoken to a matured and intelligent woman.
She understands the space, she's rational, she's on point, she doesn't faff around, and she makes the decision and you move on. So in terms of her knowledge and experience, I don't think there's nobody that would come near her within the people that I know.
She's someone who walks her talk. She is very, very diligent and hardworking. Her combination of home affairs and workplace is fantastic. Very few women have that energy. For that, I would recommend her anytime, any day, for any position.
She's a consummate professional. She has attention to detail.
She allows those she works with to thrive and to develop, and she's not threatened in any way. She rather takes joy in seeing us grow and excel.
Trust you me, if you never knew an angel, okay, you could look at Esther Gyebi-Donkor and it will give you an idea of who an angel is.
Esther, the sky is the limit. Keep going, and we are behind you. We are full of support for you. We shall be by you every day, every time, anywhere. We are with you.
No one encounters Esther Gyebi-Donkor without having positive memories of how friendly, motherly, skillful, and professional she is. Mrs. Gyebi-Donkor is noted for her beautiful, broad, and infectious smile. Even amid adversities and challenge in the line of duty.
Here is a case where the vice president was in session and she made a contribution and followed it with a booming laugh. And instead of thinking that it was a protocol breaking situation, it rather broke down the tense moment that we had.
She's got this infectious smile and laughter. she would just burst out laughing, and it's so infectious. Regardless of the situation, regardless of what you're doing, you would have to, your problem that you take to her, you will calm down.
You know, she has a special laughter. And last time I was talking to one of the staff, they said, if Madam is coming in here from the ground, you can imagine someone is at our third, fourth flat. He said, if Madam is coming, you will even hear.
Everybody knows how loud Esther's laugh is. And I think that one I'm second to her.
She's happily married to a very loving and supportive husband and blessed with 3 children, a chartered accountant, a computer scientist, and a medical science student. Despite her successful career accomplishments, Mama One, as she's affectionately called, makes time for an enjoyable social life.
That was a very beautiful one for our own Mama One, in fact, filled with nostalgia. And you saw the video, the documentary, and some of the words that the people used. Consummate, astute, a guru, a maestro. Mr. Mante says she understands her space. She pays attention to detail, allows you to the space to also excel, and the knowledge and experience is unmatched. I mean, we could go on and on and on and on. And some of us are direct, witnesses to all of these, accolades that have been poured on her. It's just the right things that they have said. And I'm sure some of them perhaps didn't also even want to exaggerate. She's done more, and we can attest to that. Mama One, Aiko.
Yeah.
Awesome. Right, so I do recall those days when you were in Port of Tema. Myself and my senior brother and colleague Moses Daute, when we wake up and then the pocket is dry, we say, let's find some topic and go to Madam Esther. And so we are coming to interview her. After the interview, we are very certain that you'll be coffee, and it always happened. And she has been a friend to the media, always accommodating, welcoming, and she's nurtured some of us and some of our media colleagues to the extent that she has become a household name amongst all of us. And just on Tuesday, when we were having a party for her in the office, the GJA had to send the representatives to come and make a donation to her, a presentation, a citation, beautifully crafted, and we enjoyed them reading it to us and presenting it to her. 31 years of your life at the Ghana Ports and Harbours Authority. Would you describe it as, rosy, or you say it's, a mixed baggage?
Thank you very much. Of course, it's a mixed baggage. It cannot be rosary throughout.
Absolutely.
And I think that Mr. Gyebi, my colleague, said it during the Tuesday party.
Yes.
He said, I've done very well, and we can only thank God for my life, because you naturally will go through the ups and downs. And it happened for me too. But I want to thank God for how far He's brought me. The fact that I've been able to do 31 years, all my working life in GPHA. I didn't even dream of moving out of GPHA throughout my working life, even though at a point I had some shipping lines and so talking to me to move to work with them. I was happy and enjoying what I do at Ghana Ports and Harbours Authority. So yes, the times that you are so fulfilled is when you've been able to execute your job, and you have been able to satisfy your customers. I mean, they bring complaints, you're able to solve it for them. When I'm in the marketing area, and then when I was at operations, that was even more difficult.
Right.
You have to encounter a lot of the clearing and forwarding agents, the shipping lines and all that, who really are looking at efficiency, and you have to do your best to deliver and to make them happy. All those things were making me really, really happy. I also enjoyed the times that I am mentoring the young ones that are in the industry, both the port and the industry at large. Some will come to you and say that we admire you, the way you work, the way you are hardworking, and so we want to be like you. Can you mentor us through? And then you are coaching them here and there, advising them. It also makes me very happy. Those were also some fulfilling times in my working life. And then also, of course, when you have feedbacks, you have feedbacks in terms of your customers telling you they are happy with what you do for them. You also have feedback through awards that you have received, which tells you that people are looking at what you're doing, they are appreciating what you're doing, also give you that fulfillment. And so that was also an area that I really cherish. And I have some wonderful managers too that I've worked with within the 31 years. And I think the best among all is my current boss, the Director General of Ghana Ports and Harbours Authority, Mr. Michael Luguji. He actually gave almost all of us, the room to operate, the room to grow, the room to actually bring out the best that is in us. And that is something that obviously, if you are a manager, you would want to have a boss that you would want to have. I also was fulfilled in the period of 31 years when I have these positive feedbacks from a number of staff that I have worked with throughout my journey in the various departments that I have worked. And these feedbacks are positive impacts that I've made in their lives. It gives me joy to see that somebody is happy because of me, that God has used me to bless somebody. Some of them, I assisted them to get the job. Some of them, it's their promotions. They are coming from different departments. They have issues. They come to me to, help them out. Above all, what my staff and the space saw in me to give me that name of Mama One is also something that touches me and makes me fulfilled in the space. And this name came by when my terminal staff felt that I have that nature of handling the work with the motherly touch. And so they called me Mama One, and they started by saying Mama One, there's no challenger. Then so henceforth, when they say Mama One, I also say no challenger. I respond by saying no challenger. All those things were so fulfilling. And finally, let me say that I see myself as contributing my quota to the industry in the period of 31 years because of all the feedbacks. And I think that I did well. And I can only thank God. I can also only thank my family, my husband, my children, my mom. My mom is so special. Even as I go through all these difficulties, and you may not have enough time to pray. She's there supporting me with all the prayers, and then all the advice, counsel, and I love all of them so much, and they have also they have all contributed to what we are seeing today. And then my staff, wonderful staff, wonderful staff, you know, throughout the GPHA, marketing, PR, operations, back to marketing and corporate affairs, and all of that. The stakeholders, I cannot. Look, the partnership, the relationship is so amazing that they just made it happen. They made it happen in my life, in my working life. So those are some of the things that I can recall in my working life that I can say made me fulfilled.
Right. Tonight's edition of Our Report is a special edition dedicated to Madam Esther Gyebi-Donkor, who is right here in the studios with us, outgoing General Manager, Marketing and Corporate Affairs at the Ghana Ports and Harbours Authority. And I've been told by the production team that we can activate the phone lines for you to call in. Right. So the number will show on your screen, and then we'll see if you call in, and then you can talk to her. And perhaps you can remind her of some of the encounters you've had with her. If you're a stakeholder or if you're a staff and you want to engage her tonight, you're at liberty to do so. We are not running from this time through till it's 5 p.m. when we shall, wrap up. Remember, this is a special edition, and so we've had to start at 3:30 p.m. today. Now, let's come back to you, Mama One, and then find out from you, if you recall how the ports have evolved, 31 years on. You sit back, you look at the progress you've made so far and how far the ports have come. What are some of the things that you really recall that have impacted and contributed to the evolution, of the ports to this stage?
Well, I think that the ports in Ghana have really evolved. If I look at Tema port, for example, a lot has happened. When I joined the port in '94, if you look at the facilities that we had vis-a-vis what we have today, I will try and just highlight a few major ones because we don't have much time. Yes. So let me start from the 2003 where we started the construction of Terminal 2.
Right.
Terminal 2 was supposed to be a dedicated container terminal. And so we did that, and by 2005, the terminal was ready, and it was given to MPS then to manage. And MPS was made up of Bulare and APM. They had 70%, and then Ghana Ports and Harbours Authority had 30%.
Right.
And so that terminal was fitted with ship-to-shore gantry cranes, rubber tie gantry cranes, and those were the times that it was just a few of the ports in the sub-region that had those kind of gears to handle vessels. We were all using the ship gears. The ship comes with the cranes, so you use the ship gear to work. But then when this was fitted, we were using them to handle and then the draft of that terminal was 11.5 meters.
Yes.
At the time too, that was when we increased the private participation in the ports. It used to be largely handled by the Ghana Ports and Harbours Authority itself. But we brought on board a number of private stevedoring companies. We also brought on board some shore handling companies to handle the shore, and that was when some of these off-dock terminals came on board. We have SafeBond that has been handling the vehicles at the time. We have also come up with a private terminal that handles our dangerous cargo containers, that is TBT.
Yes.
And then also, just around that same time, we realized that the port has been able to achieve the TEU targets that we planned for 2010.
Right.
In 2008, we had done around 500,000 TEUs, which we were expecting to do in 2010.
Right.
So the ports were becoming congested. The port was a bit congested. So then the off-dock terminal idea came up. So the Port Authority itself built Golden Jubilee Terminal so that we can bring out the CFS activities out of the port to the Jubilee Terminal. Then we also licensed a number of private off-dock terminals to come on board. TCT, APMT, and all those ones also came on board just to decongest the port.
Right.
And then also, of course, we improved upon security. If you look at what we're doing in the past vis-a-vis what we have today. We at that time, we also have to quickly implement the ISPS code, which is dealing with security for vessels and then our port facilities.
Right.
And then we brought on board CCTV cameras for the port security. Today, we have body cameras for our security men. We even have the sniffing dogs and all that. And so you can see we have traveled a long way to come. And then the port is from other stakeholders. If you take customs, for example, which is a major player in the clearing process. It is worthy that I mentioned that there's been a lot of transformation from that area to when I joined the port, they were using Asikuda for the clearing, and it wasn't kind of fully automated.
Right.
And so they moved from Asikuda to the GCNet, and then now we have ICOMS. And all those were just improvement on the processes so that we can have efficiency in the clearing process and reduce cost of doing business in our ports. So these are some of the major transformations that I can readily recall.
All right, let's do a few messages now. This one says, Mama Esther is an amazing woman. She is hardworking, kind, respectful, and to crown it all, she never discriminates. She's a mother for all. There's no name attached to this particular message, and we have some more here. This one is from Atu in Takoradi. He says, diamonds on the soles of a feet, Ampa. Congrats on a successful career, Mama One. We only pray to see your young women grow into the kind of woman we're blessed to have during your tenure. Aiko, Mama One. And Kujo in Ho says, Mrs. Gyebi-Donkor, your dedication to the transit trade and the relationships you have built with landlocked countries have put Ghana on the map. Aiko, for all you've done, we celebrate you. And Abena in Accra says, congratulations, Mama One. Your passion and hard work have paved the way for many of us. For many of us, we hope to see more women following in your footsteps. God bless you as you step into this new chapter. Now, I want us to dwell on Kojo's message about the transit trade and the role you've played. I mean, trade missions that you embark on to the Sahelian countries of Mali, Niger, Burkina Faso, and all that, and how that has helped in Ghana, playing a lead role as far as transit trade is concerned. Can you tell us about it and how you were able to cultivate that relationship to the extent that, some of them came to the office on the 26th to commend you and to pay homage to you and all the good things they said about you and how you got them to stay. Even when some people thought that, they had to go, but you were able to impress upon them to do business in our ports.
Thank you very much. I think that transit is my baby. Transit is my baby in GPHA. I was one of the pioneers of the marketing departments. We were two. We were employed to actually come and handle this transit, market the transit, market the port to attract the transit trade. So once we came in 94, we started working on this transit business until later when I have to go to operations. And then, that gap was created. And then I came back and then I have to handle them again. Transit is the trade type that is so competitive, and you cannot afford to handle the customers anyhow. They are very sensitive to whatever happens because they have options. They have Lomé, they have Abidjan, they have Benin, and they have Senegal and all of that. So I was so passionate to keep them and grow the trade. And so I put in my best to make sure, for example, make sure that if they are bringing in the cargo, we are giving off our best to handle it. We do a lot of visiting to them in their various countries just to find out what is happening with them, whether they are satisfied with what we are delivering to them, if there's something else we can do for them to be happier than they are. We also discuss the issues with them to look at what we can do with their tariffs. So we are flexible with our tariff, and then we consider based on the volumes they are bringing. And I recall also that in 2010, our past Director General, who is Mr. Anamu, he, at that point, 2010, he said, we have some issues with this transit, and he would want me to really do a comprehensive research and make sure that we pen down everything about the transit so far, how we are moving, how other our competitors are moving, what we are handling, what is the difference, what is causing the difference in what we are handling vis-a-vis our competitors. So I undertook that research, and then the report became some document that guides us, and we're trying to solve those problems as we move along. And then the trade missions, as you mentioned.
I'll come to the trade missions, madam. Let me not cut you, but we have Charles, who is calling us from Tema. Good evening, sir.
Hello, good evening.
Yes, sir.
Okay, thank you very much for the opportunity. I want to say the woman you are interviewing is a very great woman.
Thank you.
I think listening to how she articulates her point, watching the documentary that you played, it gives me hope that indeed Ghana, we have great things and we have great human beings in this country. And I appreciate her so much. God bless her for her contribution throughout her journey at GPHA and also the port. And one day, I didn't know her, but I had some issue, and then approached her, and the way she was able to receive me and also help me resolve the issue, I was so grateful. And I would want to say God richly bless her as she goes on retirement. Amen. Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Charles from Tema. We're grateful to you for your call. You can also call. I think the number for the phone in today has changed, 0245 834980. It's right there on your screen, 0245 834980. Yes. Madam, you were on the transit?
Yes. So we organize a lot of trade missions so that we can make a presentation to them, what we have to offer, what they want us to do. And those visits, continuous touch with them was something that they really cherish. And my dealings with them was so open that they can call me even midnight if they have issues. If their vessels are in the port, they can call me anytime, any day, and I'm willing to deal with the problem by contacting my colleagues who are also handling these issues so that together we can resolve the issues. So that's how come that I've become
a friend to them,
Yes.
And they had a lot of good things to say about you, and we are witnesses to it when they pay you visits in the office almost on a regular basis. Now, let's take a look at the challenges that you faced in the line of duty at the Ghana Ports and Harbours Authority, 31 years on.
Oh la la. Okay, so I think the first challenge for me was the fact that we have to struggle a bit to be able to establish the marketing function in GPHA.
Right.
As I mentioned earlier, we were the pioneers,
Yes.
two of us, myself and George Bredu,
Right.
were the pioneers to start the marketing department. But at the time, there was a PR department already before we joined, and we were attached to the PR department.
Yes, ma'am.
And there's a bit of difference, as we know.
PR marketing.
PR marketing.
Yes, so
And-
let's hold that one. When we come, tell us the difference, and then we move on. We have Tete also calling us from Tema. Good evening, sir. Hello, Mr. Tete. Good evening, sir. Oh, I understand he's off. Okay, madam, please.
Okay, so we worked for a while, and we brought out our strategic plan to be able to deal with the marketing activities, but we were not getting the feedback and the push
Right,
as
the
we
support,
felt we should have, so we can make an impact at the time. So after discussing with our then boss for a number of times and we were not having the breakthrough, we decided to go beyond our immediate boss and then get it to management. So we actually have to write a memo that we were not comfortable with, but we have to do that so that we will be useful to the organization, so that we can actually work and promote the port and promote our port to the transit countries and attract the trade as we were employed to do. So we did that, and then we had a listening ear, and we were sent to the ports.
Right.
So that's how come I ended up at Tema port,
Yes.
and then my colleague also ended up at Takoradi port.
Yes.
So that was the first one when I joined Ghana Ports and Harbours Authority. Then I think that another difficult one is balancing my career, work, and the family.
Okay, balancing work and family. We'll come to that. Mr. Tete, we understand is back. Hello, sir.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, sir.
My name is Kashmir Tete, calling from Tema, Committee 2.
Right.
Yes, she's a very good woman, and I wish they will bring her back,
Right.
so that she can act as Director General, Director of Port.
We all pray so.
Yeah, thank you very much.
Thank you very much. His message is simple. He wishes they bring you back to act as Director General or Director of Port. Hallelujah. Yes, madam. Please. You were talking about...
I didn't say amen.
Because you want your well-deserved rest. We know. You were balancing work and then family.
And family.
Yes, madam.
It is not easy at all.
Yes.
It is not easy, but God has been so faithful.
Right.
I recall that when I was pregnant with my second child,
Yes.
I had to go to Malmo to do my master's.
MSc, yes.
And then when I recall, when I went to the clinic, I wasn't feeling too well, and I went to the clinic and I was told I was pregnant. I don't know how I was feeling. I was having some mixed feeling because I have to go to school. And then I came back home, told my husband, and then we have to strategize. And I decided to go with the pregnancy, hoping that I can even deliver there. But then when I went, and the school said it would be difficult for me, and so I had to come back, deliver before I go back to continue. And then that God helped me to do that. You are at operations, you come very early in the morning and then you go around 10 p.m. Your children are sleeping. Sometimes, especially when I was at Terminal 1, I recall a number of times I have to plead with my husband to bring me into the port because the shipping line agent will call you that your staff are sleeping and all that, and they are delaying the vessel, and you have to come back to the port. And so it's something that was a bit difficult, but all in all, God has been good, and I've already mentioned that my family, my husband, my children are very supportive. And then also, I have always been blessed with some fantastic house helps that have really also played a role in helping me with the family.
Right.
I just wish to mention two of them.
Yes, madam.
Abiba.
Yes.
Abiba was very, very fantastic.
Right.
And now I have Gladys.
Right.
She is also very, very fantastic. They have actually helped me to be able to manage the family part of it, the children.
Right.
They take care of them until I come back.
Right.
And then also, another challenging one, as far as the work is concerned, was the paperless implementation.
Yes.
As you heard, yes, we were able to do it, but it was difficult.
Tedious.
It was tedious. And it is all because the vice president himself was very involved, and he was clear on the target timelines and what he wants us to achieve. And we had to do a lot between May and August. Because the deadline was 1st of September.
Yeah.
And then what we were doing, was to actually document all the processes in the clearance chain and then try to review them and actually make sure that what we are going to use for the paperless implementation is what should be used per standards. And so we did a lot of work until 1st of August before we had the white paper to guide every institution in the chain to rules, go and implement. And then let me say that at that point, the automation of our ports, GPHA automation was not at that level. So within that 1 month period, we need to come up with a system that we are going to use to implement the paperless as far as the port is concerned. And because we were supposed to be able to give a system to the clients to be able to request for service, they should be able to get their invoices in the system and not come to our premises to queue for invoices and all of that. So it took us that 1 month, let's say 1st August when the white paper was given to us, and 1st of September to make sure that it happened. And so a lot went into it. Like you rightly said, myself and my colleagues were sleeping on the 5th floor and making sure that we come up with a system before the 1st of September. And when we started the implementation, of course, change is a difficult one. So we were even having resistance from some of our own staff. As for the stakeholders, you can imagine, because things were not very okay. Teething problems were coming. They make the request. It's not going through. Meanwhile, they want to take their containers and all of that. But with the team, we were so committed to what we were doing. And then at that point, I have to rope in all my marketing and staff also in. And then we were all over the place. And by God's grace, we were able to do it. So that was also a challenging time.
Wow.
I have one that I'm not too sure if I really want to talk about it. But I just feel that sometimes we also need to reduce the political influence as much as we can.
Absolutely.
Whilst we allow the system itself to work in terms of promoting people putting people in positions and so that we can have the best.
Absolutely.
Aligning people with perceptions and all that will not help. And I think that I suffered partly in that, and I believe that going forward, those things should not be happening.
Share with us what the issue was.
No, I don't.
Maybe I can hazard a guess.
No, don't.
Okay.
Don't. But what I'm just saying is that It's something that should not be happening.
Right.
It's something that should not be happening.
Right.
Positions
People
should be
are
given
tagged.
on merit.
Yeah. Mhm.
Positions should be given on merit.
yeah.
People's performance. If somebody is due for a position, it should not be people's perception or where you, political party that you are aligned to, with all the lies. You know, it doesn't help. It doesn't help
at all. Yes, yes, madam. All right. So I understand Joseph is calling us from Takoradi. Good evening, sir.
Hello, good evening.
Awesome.
Joseph Opukwa Amwa.
Yes, sir.
Calling from Takoradi.
Yes,
Mama One is my classmate during our juvenile time.
Okay.
At Community to Number One Primary School.
Okay.
And Mama One is very good at school that time. That time.
Wow.
So I'm congratulating Mama One.
Right. Awesome. Awesome. Thank you very much, sir. Thank you, sir. Thank you very much. We are grateful for your call. I see. So your colleague, your schoolmate, primary schoolmate is watching you
I tell you, this
in Takoradi.
is a surprise.
Awesome. Absolutely. All right. So this one is from Arnold in Osu. Arnold says, hello, Metro TV. I am Port Edition with Madam Esther, a.k.a. Mama One. I just watched a documentary about her achievements and really appreciate her smooth clinical energy at work and the field of play. She loves her work passionately and abreasted herself with technology and information mixed with her temperament for success. Her support system at home and work is excellent. God richly bless you. I hope other young ladies are emulating her energies. Yeah, so Arnold, Mama One is grateful to you for the kind words you've rained on her this evening. This one says, congratulations on your retirement, Madam. I enjoyed my time with you at the port, especially GJT car park. Through your mentorship, I was able to be the first lady to manage the Steve Door section at Terminal 1. God bless you. This one is from Ida Nuchuga. Right. Okay, so I understand we have Jerry from Dansuman. Good evening, sir.
Yeah, good evening.
Yes, sir. Please shoot.
Auntie Esther will not remember me now, but I want to call and tell her that, in fact, he played a wonderful role. And there was a time Gapua was saying that I shouldn't enter the port again. And
what did you do?
I approached her with the reason why Gapua is saying that.
Yes.
After analyzing she didn't judge me.
Yes.
She listened to my issue very well, and I went ahead and processed the document, and Auntie Esther gave me thumb up.
Yes.
And Auntie Esther, I was saying that I asked her if she will remember now. Do you have more boys in the house than girls? Because she treated me like a school headmistress who deal with boys only.
Okay.
And I was just surprised the way she treated me, and I said to you, God bless you.
Right.
And even I met her at I believe Canada VHF. We are trying to know, and I told her that I'll meet her at Canada.
Yes.
If you remember that time that I was checking out. May God bless this woman. This woman is a big woman.
Amen. Thank you very much, Jerry from Dansuman. We are grateful to you. Madam, he says he looks at you as a headmistress. All right. That's a good one. Thank you very much. So, briefly, can we talk about your mentorship of women in GPHA, in the maritime sector in general, and how your association with other organizations that are, female friendly, like the WISTA, the Plaza, and all that, have helped shape your influence in the industry?
Okay, so I was lucky to be the second president of the Port Ladies Association. Plus, yes. At that time, I was so young. I've just joined the organization, and then we're going to have elections. Then the president was for Mrs. Amedume of blessed memory. And so we all went there. I didn't have any interest of time because I've just come, so I wanted to study things.
Yes.
And so we all went there to just help support the process, vote, and so we're sitting there when one of the ladies came to call me, that Mrs. Ameduma is calling me.
Yes.
They were sitting in the living room area of our clubhouse, Committee 2. So I went there, and then she said, but Esther, you can be the president of Plus. I said, oh, no, madam, I don't know anything yet. I'm now coming to learn. She said, no, she wants to hand over to me. So, and I said, oh, the ladies don't even know me very well.
Yes.
Because I've just joined the organization.
The ladies don't know you very well. We'll pause at that. We'll come back. We have barely 3 minutes to go, but we have to take Dinah from Takoradi. And when we come, you wrap up, and then we go. Hello, good evening, ma'am.
Good evening.
Yes, good to have you. Please shoot.
Okay. I'm happy to be here.
Right. We're happy to have you. Please go ahead.
Yes. Good evening, sir.
Good evening, ma'am.
All right. So I'm Dinah Sama-Mensah, and I'm with Takoradi Port.
Right.
Yes. And I want to say to my mom that we are very proud of her. She's been a beacon of hope. She's been one of the greatest mentors that I have come across.
Right.
In fact, she has paved a way for we, the ladies at the port, to have somebody to look up to and to emulate her and to strive to be like her.
Right.
She's a very beautiful and intelligent woman.
Absolutely.
And I really look up to her.
Right.
I pray that one day she will see us and be proud of us because she shaped our lives to be great personalities like her.
Amen.
So I wish Auntie Esther happy retirement.
Thank you.
I'll miss the infectious smile. And I want her to know that we are very proud of her and we love her so much.
Yeah.
We will miss her dearly. Auntie Esther, we love you and God bless you.
Thank you very much, Diana Takoradi Port. We are grateful to you for that call. Madam, we have barely 2 minutes to go.
Okay, so let me say that in that area, WISTA Plus Women Network, all was also my passion.
Right.
And what I gained from that is to be able to mentor the young ones. And then I was also exposed to capacity building for myself.
Right.
Because we go for the meetings, we go through training, and so it was a win-win situation. Whilst I was building my own capacity, I was also mentoring and coaching the young ones through those activities.
Right. Thank you very much, madam. Unfortunately, they say time flies when you're in the company of good people. We're having a very beautiful discussion with a consummate professional, Madam Esther Gyebi-Donkor, outgoing General Manager, Marketing and Corporate Affairs, Ghana Ports and Harbours Authority, who is retiring after 31 solid years of dedicated and committed service to the Ghana Ports and Harbours Authority, rising the ranks. She, at one point, became the first female terminal manager in Ghana's history, in the history of the Ghana Ports and Harbours Authority, managing 3 terminals concurrently, DJ Golden Jubilee Terminal being the biggest of them all. We thank you so much, madam, for making time for us this evening. And that means you are also our outgoing executive producer. We are deeply grateful to you for the mentorship you've given to us, for allowing us to learn at your feet, for always guiding us. And like Madam Macy said, you allow us a space to also grow. We deeply appreciate it. And for the records, you mentioned, I'm also one of those that you helped to get this job, for which I'm profoundly grateful, madam. God bless you so much. On behalf of the team, we are deeply grateful to you, Mama One. We always knock on your doors, and like you said, sometimes during the weekends in the afternoons, we come and eat fufu in the house. And we can have the chit-chat and tell you the nasty things your grandchildren are doing in the house, in the rooms.
You're always welcome.
We are grateful to you, madam, and God bless you so much. Thank you very much. So, viewers, we want to say thanks to our sponsors, Ghana Revenue Authority, Gold PLC, Serene Insurance, Ghana Link Network Services, Meridian Port Services, and indeed Phoenix Insurance. Remember, the show is proudly powered by the Ghana Ports and Harbours Authority. And God willing, on Wednesday at 8:30 p.m., the abridged version of this show will be aired. Make a date and watch that one. We wish you a super week ahead and wish you God's blessings. Thank you so much for choosing us. God willing, next week, we shall bounce back with another wonderful edition of your favorite Iron Port program. My name is Kennedy Mona. Wish you a super week ahead. Good evening and thanks for choosing us.